Hello, everybody. This is Johan Gauthier, tribe leader and founder of HR Rockstars. And we have a really great conversation with you tonight on a Rockstars speaker series with two outstanding leaders in the tribe, Gail Harris and Tal Shnall. And this is going to run for about 15-20 minutes. And in our typical fashion, we're going to be spontaneous. We have a few questions that we're going to be asking Gail. And this is really going to be an opportunity for all of you tribe leaders to get to know more of Gail, who she is, what she's passionate about, and so on. So without any further ado, I'm going to allow Gail to introduce herself and Tal, and then Tal is going to be asking the first question, and we're going to be engage in an infectious connection, as we typically do. How are you, Gail?
I'm great. Great. Thanks so much. I really appreciate this. So let's see, for work, I am a professional writer and author. And the topics I've been writing about these days are parenting, self-love, and intuition, and how they're all related, which is really the exciting part for me, the juicy part, how they're all connected. That's where I play. That's where I have my fun and where my passion is. My first book teaches us how to trust the voice of our hearts or trust our intuition. And people have actually called that book a Bible for self-love. And I think that's true. I think that it is a Bible for self-love. And I have a memoir coming out that I co-wrote with a deaf woman who is also a former Miss Deaf America. And it's her story, it's her journey to self-acceptance and to finding her daughter who she adopted, who's also deaf. I would say it's like the quintessential story on fulfilling one's destiny, among other things. It's entitled Finding Zoe, and it'll be available in bookstores and online on October 7th. And in addition to that, I'm a mother of an 11-year-old boy who keeps me very busy, and he's going to start middle school, at the end of the summer. And I live with him and my husband in Framingham, and my dog and our dog and cat. And and today's our dog's birthday. He's 4 years old. Little Dookie. Happy birthday, Dookie. He's a little white furry guy. Anyway, we all live in Framingham, Massachusetts, which is a suburb of Boston.
Well, thank you so much, Gail, for this. The roof is already on fire.
Johan, I know you love me.
Oh, God.
And I love you too.
Yes, of course. This is all about love. It is. Tal.
It is.
Well, I can feel the love. I can feel the love. So I'm loving to be here with you guys together on this hangout. So, wow, quite a bit of an introduction, Gail. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm delighted to be here on this hangout because it's all about learning from people and your inner journey and the journey you taking with this woman you just mentioned. It sounds so heartfelting and wanted to be connected with you on that deeper level. So thank you so much for being here. I wanted to ask you so many questions, but I'll start with just a simple question here. Okay. Maybe it's not so simple, but
right.
Tell me about your passion. I'm really interested because I've read so much stuff about you and how you are connected to your soul and how you want others to be connected to their soul. Tell us about your passion.
Okay, well, I would say that the passion for me is exploring my spirituality and what spirituality means to me. Basically, for me, it's so important to me. It is my passion. I would say that it's actually my purpose in life and why I'm here. I would say that all other aspects of my life are a manifestation of that exploration. My relationships, my work, my connection with Spirit or God, it really is the context from which I live my life. And from living like this, and it's been a journey, I've been on a path for a while, and here I am right now today. I find that where I am, it's, been on this journey for a while, that I have discovered, I think we all each have our own unique paths and our own unique journey. And for myself, personally, from this journey that I'm taking, that why I'm on it is because I have discovered things about life, personally, and about who I am, and what it really means to be a powerful person, and I'll get into that in a minute about our power. But just from my exploration, some of the things that I have learned and that are really important to me, and from which I live my life from these learnings, is I would say that there really is a perfection to life that we can see, and we can actually experience that perfection if we are open to it. You know, if we want to experience it, and if we are open to it. Somebody might use the terminology, you know, things happen for a reason and things are meant to be, and I agree. Yes, I might word it a little bit differently, and it's really hard to talk about these things actually, so please bear with me if I fumble a little bit, but there aren't so many words for all this. But yes, things happen for a reason and things are meant to be, but the way that I would describe it is that we all get what we need. It may not be what we want, but it is what we need, and that there is an order to this crazy life, and that it is a good order. And that doesn't mean that, you know, painful things and challenging things don't happen, because they do. They happen all the time, and I have had my share just like everybody else. But all I can say is, from my experiences in life, I have come to believe that that is true, that there is an order to this life, and that is a good order. It's not something that I would expect anybody else to believe. I think it's something that you have to live and explore for yourself. But I am, and that's really my passion. You know, my passion is, like, I've learned that, and I really believe this, you know, with all my heart and soul, from experience, though, not because somebody tells me it, because you can't, it's something, you have to experience it. But I really believe that there is a oneness in this life, and that we are all a part of each other, and a part of creation, a part of the universe, and a part of something that's greater than who we are. And for me, that when I live from that knowing, or live from understanding, that's how I can explore who I really am, like what my true power is. What does it really mean to be a powerful person? And I guess bottom line is, that really is what my passion is. I think if I had it come down to that, is like, what does it mean to be a powerful person? And I have learned that truly being powerful, that true power is really a power that you have when you are working in partnership with the cosmos, or with the universe, or many words for it, or God, whatever. That true power is not about manipulation or control, that it's really about just the opposite. And I think that we have to do those things in our everyday life. We have to manipulate things, we have to control things, we have to go to work, we have to get things done, we have to make sure our kid eats dinner, you know, whatever it is. And so that helps us to survive. And I think if that's all you want in this life, if you want to survive, and accumulating wealth or material things, or even relationships, or whatever it is, if that's what makes you happy, if that's what happiness is for you, then I think that's really great. But for me personally, I have learned, you know, from my years on this earth, that true power really, it's not about manipulation or control. It's really the opposite of that. It's learning to, like, trust, you know, trust in that good power that I was talking about. And it's in between the manipulation and control that the real power lies. And again, it's hard to really express these things, but
it sounds like more like your authentic power, your higher self.
Right. And I would say that the true power that you experience, or the joy that you experience from inside, from connecting with that true power, pales, that the manipulation and control pales to that true power that you can feel inside when you're working in partnership with the cosmos, or with spirit. And that's my passion.
And thank you so much, Gail. I mean, there's two thoughts that come to mind as you were speaking. There's one of peace. I think, you know, as Akim Novak would say, all of us are energy channels, and the energy that you're exuding is, you're bringing a lot of peace. I felt that peace just listening to you just now, and as you say, sometimes putting a word on something is an invitation to open up a bigger channel. And we all have that big energy in us. And as the three of us were talking before going live, that there is a spiritual journey that's occurring, and there's a oneness and a spirit that we're all connected. You know, how is this possible that, you know, in the world that we live in, the three of us would be in a hangout, a spontaneous hangout, and that we haven't met physically, but we're connected on the day-to-day through the tribe. And so, to me, like, I want to be grateful here with you. Before we went live, I did say, you know, how people are so fortunate in the tribe to, because really, you're allowing all of us to not only be in a relationship with you, but open up to your journey. And one thing I want to pick up on, and then I'm going to just allow you to react, is, you know, how much depth there is for you occurring when you are asking those questions in the tribe. You know, I just want to allow people to appreciate how much of your person is going in as, you know, some people might say, oh, we're just asking a question in the tribe here to allow people to participate. But I think with you, there's like a special, you know, there's some magic that's occurring each time there's a question. And like I'm going to say to you, each time you're sending me questions on Sunday, I am just taking your message in, and I am just trying to choose the best image to represent what you're saying, because there is a spiritual growth that's occurring in me, and I'm sure that there is for a lot of people out there. So I just want to allow you to just be in your energy right now and allow people to appreciate the thought process, both within and outside, which we're seeing when you're asking those questions. What's occurring for you here?
Okay. Well, what's occurring is actually this passion that I just expressed, that I just explained to you about what my passion is and exploring my purpose in life and why I'm here, that each question for me is another way to explore that very thing. You know, there are different, you know, there's different aspects to life, and every aspect of life is something to explore. And so, but I do want to say that I appreciate so much what you just said, and that I spend a lot of time thinking about these questions, and I appreciate that you appreciate them so much. But what I want to say is that I get so much from giving them. You know, it's really getting back to that conversation, how giving really is receiving. And maybe I get more than anybody else just by giving the question, you know, who knows? But I'm really glad that they're appreciated. It's a very deep and a meaningful form of self-expression for me. It's another avenue for me to explore this passion that we were talking about, and I'm grateful, and I'm so appreciative. You know, it's in the right place. You know what I'm saying? It's like we all, like what I was saying before, we get what we need. You know what I'm saying? I found you asked me to do this, and a need is definitely being filled for me. You're saying a need is definitely being filled for you, and Tal, you're saying the same thing. And so that's like a little example, okay, of what I was saying before. And whoever else is getting something from the questions, you know, that's great. Like, what a beautiful thing, a true example of what I was saying before, that we get what we need.
Well, just like Tal, and when Tal started, so thank you. I just want to say, because when I saw, you know, there was one question where Tal, you know, jumped in, and then I was literally at the office when this happened, I have to say, and I saw the response, and I went, because I spent a little bit of time with Tal, and I went, okay, something magical is going on here. And
there really was. I mean, you know, I think all of us, when Gail was when you were sharing what your passion is, you know, we're familiar with this, is that are we humans on a spiritual journey and we've heard that in many different places that we're humans on a spiritual journey, and listening to your passion, and it's almost like you're the full expression of who you are. And when you're the full expression of who you are, you feel like you're wanting to give, and the receiving part of it will come at some point, but it's just a matter of giving. So same thoughts there.
Now that is a quotable moment there. When you're in the full expression of who you are, you're in the spirit of giving.
Absolutely.
A twittable moment. Twittable.
Right. And the minute you give, you're receiving so much back. It's like that's how it works. Like that's just the way that it works. You cannot give without receiving. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like the mirror image. How could you give and not receive something back? I mean, just take a little example of it. You're kind to an little old lady on the street or whatever, and she's really grateful. If you really think about that for a minute and you take in that experience, I mean, I would just be so filled with joy just from that little thing. There's no way. It's like a universal law. You can't give without receiving. I mean, you may not be open to receiving that gift of the giving. I think that's hard for people. Sometimes it's very easy for us to give, but it's hard for us to receive. I think that's some work for us, most of us, to do. But one can't happen with. I mean, can you explain to me how it could be not that? How could it be so?
Well, I think just so quickly, I shared this. I actually put it on my Facebook profile. Is the quote by Wayne Dyer is the law of attraction, and it kind of reversing the law of attraction. And what it is you attract what you are, not what you want. So if you're giving, you're loving, you're listening, you're understanding people, it's gonna be something very rewarding to you as a person, because people are not pushed, people are pulled. So when you're looking at someone who is you're really admiring and you're really looking up to, that person has that, you were describing that power, and you're like, well, why? This person makes me feel good. So I think that's where it comes from. So I'm sorry, just quickly want to touch on that.
Yeah, no need to apologize. I think that person makes you feel good because that person is showing you a part of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy to, just like we went before we went live, I'm just happy to listen. You too. We could go
He's
on.
like a kid at a candy store.
Well, yeah, but this is the power of this conversation, and I know that we had other things that we wanted to cover, but I feel like we should just appreciate this space and what we're doing, and just leave it there for now, and just invite Gail and Tal and others to join in other hangouts. I know time is precious. Tal, you have to run to say hello to Dan first for me to a Lead with Giants
Sure will.
hangout. But Gail, I really want to appreciate you and the gift of your person. You talk about giving and receiving, and gosh, are you such embodying those principles. So I really want to thank you tonight, and for this gift, and for being who you are, and I could go on, and thank you. Really, I'm just like brimming with joy right now.
Well, thank you so much, and ditto.
All right, Tal.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate being on this hangout, and with all the love to everybody in the tribe. Our tribe is just in a blissful moment, in a blissful state, because of people like yourself, Johan and Gail, and others in the tribe. So thank you so much for diving in and being in this joyful moment. So have a great night, everybody.
Until next time.
Thanks.
Cheers, everybody.